Okay, guys, may I have your attention, please? Today we are going to start our discussion with Ielts speaking part one. As yesterday we were practicing part two. Yesterday we were practicing part one. So after asking you 5 to 10 questions, examiner will say we now move on to Ielts speaking part two. By saying this, examiner will give you a topic card and pen and paper, pencil paper, pen paper, whatever. Okay, there will be a topic card with pen paper, and then examiner will say you now have 1 minute to read the topic. You can jot down some notes if you want to. After 1 minute you will have to speak on this topic for 1 to 2 minutes. This is basically the most important part of IELTS speaking module. We call it cue card, they call it mini presentation or long turn or whatever, right? Now, in speaking part two, you have to show your fluency, your vocabulary, your grammar, and most of the time in speaking part two, examiners decide the bench score like 7, 8, or 5.5. They decide it from there because in speaking part two, examiner is quiet. Examiner is just writing down the points. Okay, and you are speaking and examiner is observing you. When it is part one, they observe you there as well, but there they are busy with asking you the questions and all that. In part two, examiner has got the freedom to evaluate each and everything. Now, how to prepare for that? First of all, you have to read the title of the topic. The topic will be given like, there will be one description, and there will be 3 to 4 bullet points with that. So first of all, you got to just read the title of the topic and immediately decide whatever you are going to talk about. If the topic is describe a person you often meet, before you read the rest of the topic, you have to write down the name of the person. If the topic is describe a place you often visit, so you should note it down first, the place, write the name of the place before you proceed. Because if you note down the place carefully, then you will have further ideas. And if you don't decide what I'm going to talk about, then you are reading the topic, but you're not decisive. You don't know what to talk about. So that is why just read the title, the first sentence of the topic, and write a point about that person, place, or thing whatsoever, right? Now, there are a few important things. The first thing, you need to see whether the topic is in present, past, future, or there is the mixture of present, past, future. Some topics are all past. For example, describe a place you once visited. Visited is second form of the verb. We call it past participle. It means throughout your talk, you will use second form of the verb. If they say describe a country you would like to visit, you would like to visit. Which tense is that? Future tense. So in that case, you are going to speak in future, right? So sometimes main topic can be in present, subtopics can be in present, past, or future. So you have to be extra careful about that. Okay, now how to note down the things, because they are going to give you a minute and a paper. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just select a topic, and there I'll just tell you how to write down some notes. You need pen and paper for that. Okay, now we'll just write down some notes together, right? You can also pick up a pen and paper and write down some notes. Okay, now please follow me. The topic is describe an activity that you usually do. Do is which tense? Past or future? Excellent. Wanted to check that. Okay, so do is present tense. Describe an activity that you usually do that wastes your time. Now, before you read on, you have to decide what activity is that. Maybe using mobile, yeah? Or playing PUBG or Candy Crush or any game on mobile, or watching videos on mobile, or anything like that. Now, please write down that activity. And don't write sentences, don't write paragraphs, only write outline. Now, if you want me to write the outline for that, describe an activity that you usually do that wastes your time, I would say I watch movies on YouTube. So, watching movies on YouTube. Clear? watching movies on YouTube. This is just the outline. Now don't write over there, I usually watch movies on YouTube. They have given you 1 minute only. In 1 minute, you cannot write more than 2 to 3 sentences. So don't write sentences, write outline. The next point is what it is. You have already mentioned what it is. It's playing game, watching movies, listening to music, using mobile and all that. So at this point, you will elaborate that activity. For example, the activity is playing game on my mobile. Actually, there is a game called Candy Crush, and I've been playing this game for around 5 years, and I think this game wastes a lot of time, especially my precious time, but I can't help because I'm quite addicted. So the activity that wastes my time is this game. When you usually do it? Next point is when you usually do it. Which tense is it? Present simple. When you usually do it, this is present simple tense. In other words, Pakistani language, you call it present indefinite. This is present indefinite. So when you usually do it, you can say, well, there is no specific time. Sometimes if I'm free in the morning, then I just start playing this game after my breakfast. On the other hand, at night, before going to sleep, I always spend hours and hours on this game. So just you can elaborate that point. Don't give a very crispy answer, then all the cue card will be over in 30 seconds. You have to speak for minimum 1 minute, maximum 2 minutes. If you speak for more than 2 minutes, examiner will stop you. If you speak less than a minute, examiner will give you some gestures through body language that you should go on. Yesterday I made a video. One of my students complained that in my Ielts speaking test cue card, examiner gave me the topic and then examiner was putting the pencil on the topic and saying, what does that mean? See, you are taking your speaking test, speaking part 2, and examiner is putting the pencil on cue card and saying this. It means you are speaking on the wrong topic. It means you did not understand the topic. And he was complaining me, sir, she ruined my cue card. I said, you ruined your cue card yourself. So if examiner is giving you any gesture like this, it means you have misunderstood the topic. If someone is pointing out at something and saying, don't speak like that, it means you have to see what the topic is. So I advise you all to follow the body language of examiner. At times, if you speak, because in actual IELTS exam, you're not even allowed to wear the wrist watches. Speaking test as well. No wrist watches, no gadgets at all, right? So for that, it's a good idea to maintain good eye contact with the examiner. If examiner says, carry on, you should go on and explain some more. And if examiner says like this or like this, it means you should finish it there, right? So follow the body language of the examiner. Okay, let's go on. Why you do it? Why do you do it? Now you will give the reasons why you do it. You can say I'm quite addicted. It has become my habit now. I cannot live without it. Every night when I go to bed before sleeping, I have an urge, a strong desire to play this game. And this game is so addictive, something like that. So you will again elaborate. And again, key point, remember 4 criteria you need to keep in mind. The first criteria is fluency. Second is pronunciation. Right? Third is grammar, and fourth is vocabulary. So you need to keep these 4 criteria in mind, okay? Then they say, and explain why you think it wastes your time. Now you're going to explain why playing Candy Crush, PUBG, or whatever the game is, it wastes your time. So you can give a couple of reasons. And remember, whenever there are going to be a couple of reasons, you must use signpost language carefully. What is that? First of all, secondly, and finally. For example, and explain why you think it wastes your time. Well, I believe it wastes my time for a variety of reasons. First of all. Secondly, give first reason, give second reason, and all that. Is this all clear? So this is speaking part 2. We call it mini presentation or cue card activity, right? Thank you.